Please pray with me. God, we thank you for this time that we can come together, Father, and we can meet about the business of our school district, Father, as we come to this time of year where we are wrapping up a school year, Father, with graduations and celebrations, Father. We pray for our students and our family members that are moving into summer, God. We pray that you would be with them and the respite that we have between the end of this school year and next school year, God. We pray that you would bless this meeting. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda, or are there any additions or deletions?
I make a motion that we adopt the agenda as printed.
Second. It's been moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. At this time, I was asked by the secretary to, because he thinks there may be a poor connection where he is, he will try to join us, but he asked that I do the minutes for him. So at this time, in front of you, you have the minutes from the regular board meeting on August the 29th, 2021. Are there any additions or deletions?
Mr. President, did you say August or April?
I said August, but it's April. Thank you. You're very correct.
Rushing us right along through summer, huh?
Summer is over.
Like a
Sorry,
bunch of folks,
teachers.
man, I tell
Okay.
you what.
Thank you, sir. I was trying to see if anyone was listening.
I'll make the motion that we adopt the agenda for April 29th, excuse me, the minutes from April 29th.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. At this time, Mr. Superintendent, it is your show, sir.
All right. Well, first item on our update, and I've included a packet there. I've included an entire list, and I'm not going to go through all those. Y'all can read what all's been going on this month. But we wanted to start with a resolution. Christy, if you wouldn't mind, come on up to the mic and read that. We had one of our dear employees that passed, and we have drafted a resolution that we would like to present to the board and have the board approve, and then we can provide that to their family. So if you would, just read that to the mic there.
The Board of Trustees of the Vicksburg Warren School District, in an effort to honor and memorialize a longtime teacher and contributor to the children of Warren County, does hereby agree to adopt the following resolution. Whereas Audrey Geneva Tolliver departed this life on May 20th, 2021, after devoting 25 years of teaching the children of Warren County, of which 22 years were spent serving the students of Dana Road Elementary School. And whereas Tolliver graduated from Jackson State University, where she received her master's degree in education. And whereas Tolliver touched the lives of thousands of children with her passion for teaching and authentic caring for each and every student in her classroom and school. And her legacy of commitment and dedication to the community has enriched those fortunate enough to know and work with her. And whereas Tolliver leaves behind her loving daughter, Alessandra Tolliver, and other family members, friends, students, and colleagues. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Vicksburg Warren School District hereby honors the life and work of Audrey Tolliver, a longtime teacher, and recognizes the valuable contributions she made to the well-being of her students in this community. Further, that this resolution be presented to her daughter, Alessandra Tolliver, and her entire family. Further, that this resolution be made a part of the minutes of the Vicksburg Warren School District. So ordered, this the 25th day of May, 2021. Signed, James E. Sturgis Jr., President, Vicksburg Warren School District Board of Trustees, and Chad Shearley, Superintendent, Vicksburg Warren School District.
So if it pleases the board, well, that's your role, I guess.
No, go ahead. Is there a motion to approve this to the minutes?
Make a motion that we adopt the resolution as read. Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved.
We have launched our videos. Hopefully y'all have had a chance to look at those for our summer programs. They're all out there. Hundreds and hundreds of student responses. We are we are, we expected to have a few, but we were so shocked at the outpour of the summer program. So we're very excited. We're currently getting those staffed and put in place. Of course, this last month was teacher appreciation, and our staff got goodies and praise and recognition. Not nearly enough for the service that they give, but we spent a lot of time doing that. One of the things that we also did, and these have gone out all over the district. You have one actually at your table. We are celebrating our pandemic heroes. We had a Google form that went out, had the opportunity for hundreds and hundreds of people to give feedback to the extra miles that people have gone to provide education during this time. It was the toughest time to be a teacher or an educator, but it was also the toughest time to be a kid and a parent. So many of the responses that we got were for actual students. So we recorded those. We allowed the nominator to have not just the reason that the pandemic hero was selected, but also a personal quote or statement back to them. It was great to deliver some of these from our students to their parents, to other teachers, to board members, to everybody at every role. It was amazing at the way that we responded as a district during a very, very difficult time. So those are there. There's some videos that will be aggregated for a handful, and that'll be coming out. But our board was actually recognized as a pandemic hero in your efforts there. So you got that located in front of you. We visited, and we always do. Last year we got shut down in our support of our presidents of universities that and colleges that support the Vicksburg Warren School District. We were able to do 2 of those virtually. One was with Mississippi State, the other was with Hines Community College, and our students shined. They were the ones that led that thank you to each one of them. We were able to, because of the as things began to change, it allowed that to be freed up. We were able to travel to Lorman, and I will attest, the air was just a little sweeter there. I experienced that this morning. And I think the grass was greener too, wasn't it?
It is, much greener.
So we were able to meet with the president there, and we brought some students that were able to thank them. And the magnitude of what has happened with dual credit, and I normally hold this update for a surprise at each graduation, which I will again state, but the numbers were astronomical, and I could not say this at the board meeting tonight, so whether that's accurate English or not. The total number of graduates for the Vicksburg Warren School District is 487 students this year. Our overall attainment of dual credit for everyone in the district, we annualized that. Last year it was 7,037. This year it was 7,095, despite the issues around COVID. And the U.S. Department of Education Statistics gives a per value per hour as a standard cost savings for a college class. That equated to over $5 million worth of savings to our parents that participated. Now this next one, I just about had to read 2 or 3 times because I couldn't really hardly internalize what this meant. Our seniors in our district earned, in the course of their 4 years in this district, collectively earned 12,951 semester college credit hours, which equates to over $9 million worth of savings to our families. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is a 134% increase from the previous year, which is an extra 7,425 accumulated hours. Now I'm going to save the total data for each one of those graduations, but I felt that I had to say this. At Vicksburg High School, that is an average of 22.56 college credit hours earned by our high school students at Vicksburg High School. At Warren Central High School is 22.68 college credit hours on average at Warren Central. And of course, we have our remarkable early college high school, and those students earn 3,339 college credit hours, which is an average of 55.91 college credit hours per senior. That is unbelievable. This year we had 37 graduates. 37 graduates who graduated with an associate's degree from high school. Let me put that in perspective. There are kids that graduated 2 years ago that are just now receiving this accomplishment, and we have 37 students this year. Not only is that an amazing accomplishment, but it's amazing in the light of what's happened to us in education. The amount of change, the amount of flexibility, and it also, which is one of the reasons we wanted to make sure that we did personal visits and personal conversations with our IHL partners and our JUCO partners. It could not happen without them. They are the best folks. They are bending over backwards to find opportunities for our students. And bar none, we have the highest dual credit attainment, both CTE and academic, combined in the state of Mississippi. The Warren Central is the #1 high school in the state of Mississippi for dual credit attainment. Let me say that again. #1 in the entire state, even though there are districts with high schools that are 3 times their size. Vicksburg High School is #3. So when you put that together as a district effort for what this board has done to provide early college opportunities for our students, there's no one doing it like we are. And I'm so thankful and proud of our students, because that's not an easy task. College courses are tough, they're rigorous, and they are rising to the occasion. So I'm so very proud, and I know it's kind of a spoiler alert, but I had to throw those numbers out there today. Got a couple of issues that I just wanted as a whole to discuss that have come up. One, I think Kimball and a couple of our board members have been made aware of an issue that I think Kimball wanted to kind of talk a little bit about, and I'm going to give you the floor for that.
Okay, well, it came to my attention through some concerned citizens that a new facility was going to be constructed on East Clay Street. To put it in perspective, it'll be between the Beechwood Restaurant and the Corps of Engineers building. And it's apparently a large convenience store that will service 18-wheeler vehicles. They can't call it a truck stop because that is a zoning violation. So whatever they're doing there is fine. I mean, I'm all for community development and all that. The primary concern of most of us is the traffic that's going to be created by that facility being there, traffic coming in off the highway. And if my office is out on Highway 80 right past Glenwood Funeral Home, I travel that intersection 10 times a day, and it's horrible as it is. So you add, the traffic counts are running 108 to 118 18-wheelers a day will be servicing this area. And if you've ever been on East Clay Street when there's a wreck on the highway, and they're diverting the traffic that way, that's horrible. So we're more concerned with the students that are going to be leaving Warren Central at 2:30 in the afternoon, and also the students that are going to be coming to Beechwood, parents taking their kids to Beechwood, teachers, school bus drivers, everything that's going to be interacting with that new traffic load there. The concern is safety. It has nothing to do with community development. I mean, like I said, we're all for that. It's just the issue of aggravated traffic counts that I think are going to conflict with what we want to happen as far as the school district and our buses and our kids and our students. And my suggestion,
Ma'am, I apologize.
So my suggestion would be, as a board, if there's a correct way to do it, that we could just address the mayor with our concerns, and through a board action, however we need to do that. Just let him know that we're concerned about our kids. And a 16-year-old that's driving their brand new car and through that intersection and having to deal with this load of traffic right there. If you'll just visualize this one scenario, this is one that bothers me more than anything. If you're an 18-wheeler and you're driving toward Louisiana, to get to that facility, you have to take the Utica exit, which is a loop, merge onto 61 North, which is a train wreck as it is right now, come through the Beechwood interchange, go into the facility, come out of the facility, go west, past the Waffle House, past the, get under the bridge, then get on that horrible loop-to-loop that throws you back up onto the highway, which only has about a 200-foot acceleration lane. And if you've ever pulled in there and traffic's heavy, you just stop and wait. So if you've got 108 vehicles or 18-wheelers a day, let's say 50 of them are going west, they all have to make that trek. So that concerns me, if I were a parent, to think that my kid is mingled up in that leaving school every day. And so as a board, I'm just making that suggestion that we either individually or as a board make an effort to let our city fathers know our concerns, if they are as strong as mine.
All right. The Coach Stevens has also asked for about a minute and a half.
1 minute.
Okay. I gave you an extra 30 seconds.
Thank you, Superintendent. The Mississippi Tobacco Free Coalition of Warren County and the project director, Ms. Kimberly Stevens, along with Dr. Kim Germany, we are doing awarding schools of the month. And it's been a great motivator for the kids and for the teachers and the principals at that school. And we did the last one today, AOI, for this year. And again, anytime Mr. Seeley is an advocate of outside the box and finding things to motivate our teachers and our students and our principals. And it was a terrible time this year. It was a bad time. So it was right on time. So again, kudos to Dr. Germany and the project director, Ms. Kimberly Stevens. Thank you.
Lastly, we had something that happened, and again, COVID got in the way of so very much. And it twisted our minds to come up with creative solutions, some of which will last for eternity. But one of the things we had was we didn't get to have our caroling contest, which is annual. And 105.5 and Mark has always done a good job with putting that on. And it's such a joy to go participate in that. So in lieu of that, they created something called the First Annual Battle of the Brains. And our curriculum team took a very active role in helping organize that. And that was Dr. Fatasis O'Harrell, Marilyn Abear, Diane Ski, don't get mad at me, Doc. And we got Ebony Garner, LaToya Lott, Veronica Jeffries, Ebony Crosby, and then Dr. O'Leary, Dr. Regina O'Leary, Crystal Cole, and Tiffany Klein. Inside of that, we were able to get there and to have some great, back and forth on content and how we needed to celebrate these students. And this was a $10,000 award that was divvied amongst the winners. And Division I, and there were a lot of places, but Division I was a showdown between Beechwood and WCI, and WCI came out on top. Division II was Beaumar and South Park, and Beaumar won that one. Division III was between AOI and St. Aloysius, and AOI won. And last was Division IV, which was Vicksburg High School, and St. Al took the prize there. My hat goes off to community members that always find ways to support. All too often, you only hear from the angry few, and this guy, Mark, has really done an amazing job with finding ways to celebrate in a time where it was tough to celebrate. So hats off to him, hats off to our team, and I think we even had one of our board members that was down there running the show as far as making sure everybody could hear everything. So we appreciate everybody's effort in celebrating this tough time. And I believe that's it.
Mr. Shealy, Jim Sturgis here. Can we let out the secret, or we need to hold it until with this summer with the parents and the students that might be receiving their diploma that wants to experiment?
This is a good time as any to update. One of our partners, when you have a mindset that everybody should have the opportunity to learn, everybody doesn't mean necessarily what our Department of Education defines as everybody, right? So we have a couple of opportunities outside of the everybody. One of those is a project partnership. It's called Project Search, and that is with the Mississippi Rehabilitation Center and the hospital. And we have students inside of our system that the Mississippi Department of Education says has no place because they have no solution for their end game. Those are students with disabilities like my third son unless a miracle occurs, will not be able to graduate with a traditional high school diploma. In the past, we've had something called a mod diploma that was done away with. So we have not had an opportunity for the Mississippi Department of Education to hold true to the promise they made 4 years ago that there would be a replacement coming. So one of the things we did is we did reach out, and we have something called Project Search. What this is an 8-week opportunity for our students to do internships at the hospital. We had 4 of our students that graduated this program through the Mississippi Rehabilitation Center, and now not only did they complete technology, leadership, collaborative opportunities, but they went through 3 different sections of internships at the hospital, and every single one of them landed a job at the end of the day. I got to lead that graduation ceremony. Very, very emotional content for me. It's very personal for me, but all means all. In addition to that, we have a partnership that has been made with one of our partners, and it was based on the fact that there are a lot of people out in this community that did not, for whatever reason, were not able to complete their high school diploma. It could be anybody who lives in our zone with a child that works for me, or was a student that did not complete their graduation. So we've reached out, and Grade Results has created an opportunity for adult education, and we've had, Doc, what was the last number we landed on?
I think we just updated, Mr. It was about 211.
211 community members from this community are now going back and completing their requirements to graduate high school, and some of those are, have more credits to earn. But when you talk about everybody and the culture of increasing education for all, you couple that with the 17 pre-Ks that we do not have funded because we cannot get awarded a early childhood collaborative from the Mississippi Department of Education because we don't have new K-12, pre-Ks being put in place. But from pre-K to post-secondary, we are reaching outside of the box, as Coach would say, and trying to provide an education for all. So we're very proud of both of those partnerships, and we look forward to the outcomes and getting students, no matter what age, we want them college, career, and life prepared. So now I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. Sheets.
Yes, sir.
One other thing, if I may just add on that, is some people may be concerned about their computers with their kids that some are being turned back in, and wondering about the sanitation of your computer. Well, our IT has a device that will clean those computers and give them back to the students.
Correct.
So we're trying all we know how to keep everything straight for the students, because we need them here in the seats starting next year.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Superintendent. At this time, we have our project update. Who we have on? Mark?
Yes, sir. You got Jason and Mark.
Hey, Jason. Mark.
Double trouble.
You're up, sir.
All right, guys, you got the update in front of you. Not going to spend a whole lot of time on the update. We do have some action items to go over, but just a couple quick notes. At Vicksburg High School, we're still working with insurance adjusters and the contractors, getting the band hall squared away. And I know that's a hot topic, and we're making a push to see that come to completion. Athletics Phase 2, it is down to the nitty gritty. We should be hearing from those guys requesting inspection. They're finishing grassing, site work, so we're pleased with the progress they're making despite the weather there. Warren Central High, you've got the update information in front of you, but the Old Gore construction, we're still having issues with the soil, so we'll come back to an action item on that in just a minute. AOI, you guys have kind of heard our frustration as well as getting that project finished. We have been pushing, and we are seeing some results of the contractors in there just trying to take care of their business. Just to let you guys know that we are holding their final request for money on that project until we see some items completed. Junior highs are going extremely well. We guys will be turning those over in August. Bomar, we've been making some push, and Mr. Bennett has been great to work with. We would like to see some more things complete, but they kept saying, "You get the kids out of here, and we'll take care of it." So that time is now upon them. So they've got June and July to fulfill their promises, and I believe they can do that with the interior renovations, but they're going to have to hustle. Beechwood, item G. Briggs, is there anything you want to say on that, or is that another item?
That's going to be an executive session item, so we'll wait.
Understand. Got you. And Redwood, we've got some corridor BCT that we noticed we had some issues with in the final walkthrough, but again, that's going to be taken care of when kids are gone. So before we get into action items, any updates? Y'all want to discuss anything, go into any detail about anything on the project?
No, sir.
All right. Well, action items A, we've got two schools, one Warren Central, one Vicksburg High, but we'll go over Warren Central. The first one, we're making some wall revisions. You'll see there is a credit for taking some of those wall changes throughout the existing building. There's a $4,100 credit back to the district, and that will be a change order. The second one on Warren Central is actually going to require some conversation. Got Mark on board as well. But you guys remember we had a special meeting and we were reviewing the site issues, and we gave the contractor a not to exceed amount to proceed of $250,000. Well, as they started getting into that, they realized that the soil was drying out on top, not near as well as it was drying out underneath. So as they started excavating, the holes, if you will, began just sloughing off. So we got the geotechnical and structural engineer back involved. And the result of that is, hey, the soil is so wet, it's been raining, it's going to require some sort of shoring or piling or something around the existing building and foundations. So what they have recommended is sheet piling to keep the compacted fill material next to the existing building, which would allow them to work in the Agora area. And the cost to do those sheet pilings is $171,170. So it is a big number, but a portion of the 250 of the not to exceed was not done. So there's going to be some balancing of that, but we just have not drawn that fine line of what that is.
Jason.
Yes, sir.
Jim Sturgis. Question on the soil, the wet, being wet. Now, are you saying it was wet because it rained, or it's wet, the soil is just actually wet?
So this was the soil where we had the plumbing leaks and the drainage leaks under the kitchen and cafeteria,
Yes,
which kind of stalled the whole job. We were getting some drying on the top, you know, as far as we could tell, and they were doing spot testings on it. But as they started opening up, it had not just dried at the bottom, being so saturated because we couldn't shut down the kitchen because kids were in there. So we were just, for lack of better words, we were just flooding the subsoil.
So we didn't do our for lack of not knowing the correct wording, soil testing, where you go down deep to see how dry or how wet it is. We didn't do that in the beginning to see if this was wet?
No, we did. And this is the same condition that we discussed when we had our special call meeting. And the hope was that as we could open it up, it would dry out. But it was so wet underneath the buildings that could not be tested that we started losing that soil, and in fear of losing stability and damaging the foundation, this is the remedy to that.
So,
and Mark, I would defer to you with anything I'm missing.
So if you put the piling in, is the water coming from somewhere else, or is just the water that's down there? Or have we stopped, let's say if it's a leak, have we stopped the leak? Or I'm just concerned if we put the piling in, then it gets back wet again, we're in the same condition.
Yeah.
No,
It's
sir.
been corrected.
We believe we stopped all the water.
Okay, you stopped all the water.
To the best of our knowledge, sir, there was some sanitary leak, water leaks, storm drain leaks.
And these are temporary pilings that will be rented, because I asked, why are we taking them out? We've got, labor that's involved with taking something that we put in out when it could be left in, but because the cost is deferred on the rental of the pilings, they would be more expensive if they were a permanent solution. Now, what in essence they're wanting to do is to move forward, and these pilings will hold the subsoil underneath the existing buildings in place, so that what we've had happen in these low water soils before is it just keeps coming off, and we don't want to. They're not comfortable with moving forward. So the only real options we have is defer the progress for who knows how long until it gets to the adequate drying, or add these pilings and then go ahead, begin to do the work, bring the dirt transition out like we intended and intended to do, and then they will have the permanent structures that you've approved that will be placed in there. Then the backfill dirt will go in, and they'll remove the pilings at that point for the structural backing of the soils underneath the existing foundation. And did I say that right, Mark?
Yes, sir.
Hired, Mr. Shealy.
And one other thing, Mark, and I'm just getting elementary clarification for myself. The rain does not play any part in the wetness, correct?
Well, I'll say that
Not that deep.
that's what's caused the problem. The problem has been caused by the leaks that we think we've eliminated.
Yeah, and I think they bored to, what'd you say, 35 feet, and they still
Yes,
didn't
sir.
have a standard soil structure, so, there's gonna be some.
The original
time
boring, there were
once they
some.
rectify the source of the water, now it's just gonna take time for that to dissipate off, but they don't anticipate it being an issue once.
Mr. Sturgis, can I ask a question, please, sir?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
We're nothing else has happened since we had this last meeting. I'm concerned that we don't know what we're doing, in that this situation in the wetness was the wetness when we had our special call meeting to authorize the additional expense. Why was this not anticipated or thought of then? We don't have an open checkbook to keep coming back and writing to fix this. Do we have the right people involved that know that they build all the time? This is not an unusual circumstance to run into a sewage or a leak under a building, to know that if you want it to dry out, you might have to do certain things. I'm just concerned that they think we have an open checkbook.
Let me make a recommendation, Mr. President.
Yes, go ahead, Mr.
Look,
Attorney.
we've got another matter concerning construction that we've got to take up in executive session. There are some things in here that we're talking about that could be related to potential litigation. What I would like to do is just take this under advisement or defer this until executive session, because we could spend 15, 20 more minutes talking about this, and the kind of issues that y'all are bringing up need to be discussed. So, Mark and Jason, if y'all are still on, do you need the other ones? Are they going to take a while to explain, or should we conclude our executive session and then come back to these at the end? And will one of you guys be on if we need to call you in for executive session?
Yes,
I can be available.
Good.
Mark, but while we're here, was there any objection to the credit of $4,100? We can get that one for Warren Central High School.
I object, it's too small of a number. See if we can get it up to like 189,000, and then we'll be playing with this next discussion.
Well, I'm not greedy, so I'm gonna make a motion that we accept the credit of $4,109.75 on the wall changes at Warren Central.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we accept is it 4,100?
$4,109.75.
4109.75. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. Now, we need to. Mark.
I would recommend, just due to the length of the items under Vicksburg High,
Jason.
there's 3 items, but there's really 8. I would recommend with your suggestion, Riggs, because
Okay.
it will take time.
Okay, Jason, what we'll do then, if it is the pleasure of the board, we will defer to executive session the F2 bond update on Vicksburg High and Warren Central. Is that
Yes, sir.
applicable? Is there a
Yes, sir.
motion?
Yeah, I make a motion that we defer the remaining action items to executive session.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose like sign. Motion is approved. So do we have anything else for Bailey? That's all for them at this time? Okay. Thank you. Okay, now we're under the financial report.
Good evening.
Hello.
For our reconciliation, the April 2021 has been reconciled with one reconciling difference in our AP clearing account of $31,520.95. This will be cleared up by the June board meeting. You will notice in your doc that the ending balance, bank balance for March 2021 equals the beginning balance for April 2021, each of the accounts. In terms of a statement of cash flow, Doc, April is showing an estimated fund balance of $30 million, which is consistent with our district maintenance fund balance on the statement of fund equity. For your ad valorem tax collections, your year-to-date, we have collected $30.1 million in ad valorem tax collections, which is an increase of approximately $246,000 from this time last year. We are 80% through FY21, and we are on track to exceed the total tax collected in FY20. For our MAMP collections, we continue to be consistent throughout the fiscal year. We received our appropriations for the district of $2.43 million for April, which brings our year-to-date total of $24,015,701, which continues to follow its trend with no shortfalls. In terms of our casino revenue, our year-to-date collections is $487,727.18. It was requested at April's board meeting that the casino revenue be broken down to reflect actual collections earned for the months of December through April versus when we actually received the funds. So that has been done.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
I didn't make myself clear. I thought I asked, and I asked many different ways, and first of all, let me apologize. What I was trying to ask for was to show it as you had it, with the zeros on those particular months, but out to the side to show, like you have it, like, yes ma'am, to the side, and that way we could see that we didn't receive in December, but we got it in January, but it still, we'd have a flow of how they're keeping our money.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Like
What I'm
both, yeah, just put another column.
Yes, ma'am.
Because
Okay.
my
Yeah, and I
board-
apologize.
My board
Okay.
wants to make interest off their own money.
Absolutely.
Instead of someone else.
True. Okay. I'll note
And
that
I-
and have that by the
if-
June meeting.
Yes, ma'am. And I apologize if I said it differently.
Okay, so we continue to exceed our projections for the fiscal year and expect to continue for the rest of the year. Any questions?
Ms. Edwards, I think you may have mentioned it, but I can't remember, but on our cash stabilization fund, which is our fund balance,
Yes.
how much did you say was in there?
Currently, it's 30 million.
30 million.
Yes.
Thank you.
That being all, I'd like to make a motion that we accept finance officer report.
There's a motion to accept the financial report. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. Yes, ma'am. We are, where am I?
H.
H,
Consent.
okay. We're at the proposed consent agenda. Are there any items to be pulled? Are there any items to be pulled?
You didn't have to say it.
Well, I will pull 16, and they're very simple, 16, 17, and 18. Are there any other items?
I've got 12 and 24.
What's that, Mr. Attorney?
12 and, age 12 and 24.
12, 24. Thank you. Are there any others? Considering there are no others,
I'll make a motion that we accept the consent agenda with the exception of items 12, I didn't write them down, 16, 17, 18.
11, 16,
and 24. There's a motion.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved.
And that was H and I, correct?
Correct, all the way through. Yes, sir. Mr. Attorney?
Thank you, Mr. President. Item H12 is a canopy agreement. I've looked at the first draft of that, have not seen the second draft or the final with the changes or the addendum that was included. So I would ask the board to approve it subject to my review or the attachment of the addendum.
I'll make a motion that we accept H12 pending review by council and in addition to an addendum added to the document.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. 16.
Yes, sir.
Is that supposed, is it supposed to be a MOA or MOU?
Yeah, it's a
What is
memorandum of
MOA?
agreement.
Of agreement.
And this is the partnership between Hines Community College, the Department of Education, and River City Early College Program that serves both of our high schools as a school of innovation. And this will extend us a year. The MDE reissued that, and we are moving forward with that memorandum, and you should see it attached. We did update initially when the program came to Hines, I guess, what was that, 5, 6 years ago now? It seems to pass so fast. 4 years ago, we've had 2 graduating cohorts out of it, so 5 years ago. The memorandum allowed for 70 students to go into that program, which was the recommendation from the MDE and what Hines would agree to. I would make it unlimited, but they weren't willing to do that. So inside there, after operations for 2 years, they did allow us to move to 100 students per cohort. So we actually have 2 groups of 100 now. And we just updated that memorandum in its current form to reflect the 100 versus the 70. And it's in fact the same memorandum that you approved when we started.
Mr. Turner?
And that has been signed by President Basic.
Okay. Mr. Turner, have you touched over the MOA?
I have not, but I think this is just a renewal of the old one, is it not?
Okay.
And I
You good with that?
I reviewed it previously. If it's the same language, I'm fine with it.
Only thing changed, it went from 70 to 100.
I'm fine.
Because they wouldn't let me put 1,000 on there.
Let me get the attorney on TV. You agree with that, Mr. Attorney?
I agree with that.
All right, then, I just wanted to get that. With that, is there a motion to approve?
Motion that we accept H16 as a consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Opposed, like sign. The motion is approved. On 17, on the compensation for non-contractual days, is this money coming out of our general fund?
Let me get there, hang on.
No, it's coming from ESSER funds.
Coming from ESSER funds? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a ton of that. I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of about 25 million, and part of the requirement is for the extension of school offerings, which could potentially be before school, after school, and summer. 20% it has to be executed there. So what it's doing is increasing the amount of oversight and tracking of those, because those school days are there now. So the employees are needed for longer periods of time for days that they weren't generally contracted for, because the school operations will extend past what the normal need for 187 days.
So would you please include in your content to state where the funding is coming from, so we will not be accused of taking it out of funds that it shouldn't come out of. And that way, we can delineate the difference of which fund it is that it's coming out of. Please.
It's there.
Not on my form.
It is on the attachment. If you see, it says Office of, it says funding source towards the bottom, right above the contact person, on page 1.
Page 1.
Towards the bottom, it has funding source, and I put Title 1, Title 2, ESSA 1, ESSA 2, and school improvement funds.
Okay, it may be on another one.
Oh, it's on the,
You
yeah,
got
here
it?
it is, yeah.
Okay.
It's just not in the, public content.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's listed right there.
Okay.
Yep, on the attachment.
Okay. Oh, I got you now.
Yep, funding source, Title 1,
Okay.
Title 2, ESSER 1 and 2,
Right.
school improvement funds.
Okay. Okay. If you would put that on the front side for us, please, because we don't like to read.
Yes, sir.
I would appreciate it.
That's not true, they really like it.
I make a motion that we accept page 17 of the consent agenda.
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, like sign. Wait,
It's a long way to Colorado, that's why.
yeah, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
a
sorry.
long way.
We got the delayed reaction here. I apologize, Mr. Pratt. You did vote aye?
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I forgot where I was, but it is approved. Thank you.
18.
Thank you. 18. Under 18, if I didn't read this, I didn't understand, I need to know a total amount of how much all of this is gonna cost. Did anybody figure it out for me? Because I saw one that said, 18,000, and then I saw another one that was saying 14,000, I saw another one say 15.
Yeah, this is the actual requisition number, which is 1,200 for one-time initial setup fee. Annual maintenance is 14,470.95, which is a total
That's 15.
of 15,670.95.
So the total amount is
15,670.95.
15,670.95. I got you,
Yes, sir.
sir. Thank you. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't know what the total amount was. And this is also coming from,
This should not be, this should be
Is this
general.
ESSA
This
funds
is,
or
this is
general?
actually the student information center, or information software that we have. It's expanding that some.
yes, sir.
Again, I think this is a function that the state is looking at, supplying for, and it should be a standard operational system that all districts operate out of from the, Mississippi Department of Education. So I do think they are actually looking around providing something as we move forward, but this is, that's what that is.
So it's coming out of our general fund?
This coming out of general fund.
Okay, okay. That's what I needed to know. Okay,
Yes, sir.
that's all I have.
Motion we accept H18 of the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion is approved. Thank you. Where are we now?
24.
24. Who's that?
That's mine, Mr.
Yeah.
President.
Okay, thank you,
That's
Mr.
the same
Attorney.
issue I had with H12. I just haven't had a chance to review that final, and it does not have an addendum attached. So I would ask the motion be to approve it, subject to review or the addendum being attached.
Hey, Dr. Ross. Thank you.
I'm here.
Yeah, put you on mute.
She's just there in case you have any questions.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah, we got a little feedback coming in on you. Just put it on mute. If they have any questions, you can pop it off.
Okay.
Not pop off.
Okay, so with that, the attorney asked that we, for his oversight.
Okay, I make a motion that we, on H24, that we approve it pending council review and any addendums.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Pose like sign. Motion is approved. We're now down to J for discussion. J1.
J1 is a unique issue. We actually have one of our JROTC, Warren Central High School, some rank, runner of our JROTC program is retiring. Colonel, Major, I took two wrong stabs. We have a replacement for him that's coming. Because of COVID, the previous training was at an odd time. Normally, these trainings fall within a contracted time. That's not the case for us. So in order for our new person to receive the training that they need, we're asking that you, I guess, approve this year, this budget, 10-day cycle contract for 10 days so that we can get him the training he needs to come on July 1, because you've actually already approved that year-long contract. But in order to be able to expend district funds on professional development for you, actually has to be an employee. So we're asking for those 10 days to be approved as a individual contract for those 10 days only. Did I do all right with that? And this is the only time it's offered. We did ask that, so.
Okay.
And that is an action item, even though it's under discussion.
With junior
It's definitely an action item.
ROTC.
I'll make a motion that we approve J1.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Pose like sign. Motion is approved.
Second, are you moving on?
Yes, sir.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
We have worked diligently over the last, and when you talk about reining in structures that are so flexible around COVID, we've been through the gamut this year. But we have worked for our restart plan, which is very similar to our initial restart plan before CDC regulations moved those marks around. And we have gotten community feedback on this. We've gotten group feedback, and Doc has met like 950,206 hours, or give or take, to come up with it. And if you don't mind, you've got a copy of it at your seat. But we wanted Dr. McGee to walk you through what this plan is going to look like that we will submit to the Mississippi Department of Education. One of the requirements for receiving ESSER funds, any dollar of ESSER funds, you have to submit a restart plan that includes a in-face instruction restart being the solution. So we've got that solution moving forward that we're proposing to you, and at the end of the presentation of Doc, would like for you to ask any questions you have, make any comments that you like, but approve that restart plan so that we can submit this document to Mississippi Department of Ed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Yes, a part of the requirement, and with MDE as well, they are expecting in-person learning as a primary delivery for instruction for the 2021-2022 school year. So I just want to thank the committee that worked on this with us, a fine group of educators that did that with us. I just want to thank the schools and the principals for doing such a good job. I think we had a great solution for our in-person instruction.
And to interrupt, I don't know if anybody had to place a call about a question during the pandemic, but he was our pandemic hero that was recognized for his amazing ability to stay on top of this thing that moved constantly and give consistent answers to administrators, parents, students alike. And during this pandemic, he has kept up with every single report that every single entity has requested from us. And Dr. McGee did a fantastic job during that time. I was not the one that nominated him as the pandemic hero for that, but he deserves our appreciation as a district for his commitment to make sure that all of that was done in a timely manner. And if you don't know this about Doc, he's got the best pair of listening ears on the entire executive team, no doubt. And I'm just very thankful, and I want to personally say that to you publicly. I know I've said it to you privately, but I appreciate the work you've done.
Thank
so
you.
I'm not going to interrupt you
And y'all, this will be, if you approve it, it will be made public on Friday. That's one of the stipulations that we have to follow. But if you, slide 2 is just an overview of the plan. So I'm going to just highlight some high points because some of this is the same. Like I said, I think we did a great job. The academic programming, that's slide 3. We're expected to return to in-person on August 6th. Schools will be open Monday through Friday on regular schedule. All CDC and Mississippi Department of Health recommendations will be followed on each campus. We will progress all of our students through benchmark assessments and metrics established by each school strategic plan, and we will get feedback from our teachers on our academic programming. If you look at slide 4, additional preventative measures, you can see that during transition, we will encourage to follow all the CDC guidelines as well. We will educate our students on best practices of self-care for themselves, such as washing hands, limited sharing personal items, sneezing in the elbow, etc. So we will follow those additional preventative measures. If you look at slide 5 and 6, 5 continues the preventative measures where we talk about spacing with the desk as much as feasibly possible. Air quality was something that was really heavy with the federal funds that we are receiving. So if you look at those bullets there, installing UV lighting in many of our district HVAC systems, that was done pre-COVID. All of our new construction, the facilities in the district will be equipped with air purification systems in the ductwork. Approximately 50% of our facilities already have been equipped with improvement of air quality. And the ESSER funds that we will receive will help us to get 100% of our schools with improving the air quality. Now, arrivals and dismissal, y'all, that slide is the same, so I'm not gonna read through that for you. Athletic and activities. All athletic and activities will return to normal operation, and the VWSD will continue to follow the Mississippi High School Athletic Association and CDC guidelines. Child nutrition, we had to address that. Breakfast and lunch will be served at each school, and in the event of a closure by the governor, executive order, meals will be delivered via bus routes as we have done previously. Chromebooks, that is one of the same slides that just talks about the care of our Chromebooks. Slide 11 gives links that parents will be able to click on once this is made public on our website. We had to address ways of communication. So if you look at slide 12, those are the different ways that we will communicate with our parents for any updates or any changes. Our web page, our YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, call, text messages, emails. So our same mode of communication, we will follow that. Daily wellness screening, that's slide 13. Parents are encouraged to take students' temperatures and assess students before sending them to school. Students who have an elevated temperature greater than 100 or exhibiting symptoms should stay home. So we will continue to follow that daily wellness procedure that we have in place. Slide 14 just lists the symptoms, possible symptoms of COVID. If you look at slide 15, it talks about our enhanced cleaning measures. And like I say, this is just tweaking the old plan, y'all. So this is one of the same slides. We will still use ABM in conjunction with our cleaning measures to make sure that everything is sanitized and safe for our students and teachers for in-person instruction. And slide 16 is just a continuation of the enhanced cleaning. Slide 17 deals with face masks. All CDC and Mississippi Department of Health recommendations are encouraged to be followed by faculty, staff, students, and visitors while on the VWSD campuses and buses. Grading, there will be no changes to our grading policy. We will ask to reinstate that policy back into its normal state. On-campus screening, any students that may exhibit COVID-19 symptoms will be sent to a designated area, if that may be a nurse's office or some designated area in the school where that student will be evaluated and parents will be contacted.
And case in point, one of the personnel improvements that you just made and voted on and passed is that every site will now have a nurse on campus at every site all day long. We're not bouncing folks back and forth, so we'll have the health professional that will be located at every facility. So that was great. It's something we've been wanting to do for a long time.
Yes. Slide 20 deals with policies. If you look at the links there, these are the policies that that the board adopted when we first went into COVID. So we had to list those policies as part of the criteria of the plan that was listed out with MDE. So certain check boxes that we had to make sure that was in the plan. So that's what those policies would take care of. We had to show how we will address the social and emotional needs of our students. And the VWSD will address the social and emotional needs, and mental health needs through staff training. We have partnerships with Warren Yazoo Behavioral Health Systems. Our district leader and me, Social and Emotional Coalition, which was established in-house, will also team up to help with the social and emotional needs of our students. Technology, I think we do a fantastic job of utilizing technology, so that slide didn't change. We still have great results as a platform. Also, Odyssey-ware, iReady, and Google Classrooms to enhance the learning of our students. Transportation, that slide didn't change. We still use transportation as a means of getting our students back and forth to school, and we follow the CDC and the Mississippi Department of Health recommendations for our students on the bus. Transition to remote learning. If we have to transition, we always communicate with all of the different departments, such as the Warren County Emergency Management, Department of Health, and if that's the case, if we have to go to remote learning, then we will go to great results as our mode of instruction. The next few slides deals with frequently asked questions, and I just addressed that with 26. It talks about school closure. So if we have to go to school closure, great results will be our primary mode for instruction. Slide 27, how will instruction be provided for students with extended absences due to COVID-19 testing or mandatory quarantine? Still, we'll transition to remote learning to help those students as well. Slide 28, will I be notified if a classmate of my child has tested positive for COVID-19? It is the responsibility of the Mississippi Department of Health to notify individuals of possible exposure to COVID-19. Students and staff information must remain confidential as required by law. And the last question, dress code. All students will follow the dress code according to the student handbook. So that was a quick overview of the plan. But like I said, we tweaked the plan, and it was a lot of the information was the same that we had in there, because like I said, we did a great job of bringing our students back in person.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Now I'll make a motion that we accept J2's return to in-person instruction plan.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. J3.
J3, all the aforementioned policies that were related to COVID that MDE said that we had to address, because they gave us guidance that said we had to address policies that were around grading and other practices for attendance or whatever that may be. These are the list of those policies that we suspended, and we're asking you to reinstate them, which are previously existing policies, which we have no changes to other than just reinitiating those since the deadline of the school year is coming to a close.
I make a motion that we approve J3, the Mississippi School Board Association policy revisions and updates.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. 16th section. 16th section.
You want to turn it over to me?
Yes, sir,
Thank you.
Mr. Attorney. Thank you.
Mr. President. We've got 2 bids to open tonight, and we also have a lease to approve. Anybody else have any bids? I got one late. I think that's from you, Mr. Adams. Is that right? Have you got certified funds with that?
Yes, sir.
I need those, or the bid won't be, may not be in order, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Let's go first with the bid. Ms. Wansley, what's the bid? I think I know the Kings Point section, bid number,
1617
and what's the minimum amount on that?
$6,440.
Appears that we have one bid for the Kings Point section. That bid is in the amount of $6,440. It is from MJK Property, Howell R. Jones partner, and there are certified funds in the amount of $644. What was the minimum, Ms. Wansley, on that?
6440.
Okay, this meets the minimum bid requirement. There are no other bids on this property. The bid appears to be in order.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, yeah, we'll do them individually.
I'll make a motion that we accept the bid on section 1617-3 for MJK Properties in the amount of $6,440.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we approve the bid for what was stated earlier. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. President. Second bid is on the section 1413 2 East, which is Boga de Shea. I think most people call it Boga de Shea. I've also heard, but it's it looks like that's an amount of $5,500. Mr. Adams, is that correct? That's the number I see. See no other bids on that track. It is 10% the cash. That bid, the amount appears to be in order. What's the minimum amount, Ms. Wansley?
$17,000.
I'm going to ask the board to take that under advisement at this time.
Okay.
The motion would be to take that bid under advisement.
Is there a motion to take that under advisement?
I'll make that motion.
It's been moved and properly second that we take that under advisement. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved.
The last thing we have is a proposal from AT&T to lease a, I think it's called a junction box at the corner of Tiffintown and Brabston Road, which is right there by Clear Creek Golf Course. Ms. Wansley has contacted the current leaseholder, which is the Parks and Rec Department, Warren County Parks and Rec. They've consented to this. It's a very small, it should be in your packet, it's a very small parcel right there on that corner. They can put up an electrical box. And they've agreed to pay the $100 per year for 25 years each year for that location, for that essentially an easement almost for that spot, even though it is a lease agreement. So that's before you for consideration.
For clarity, that's 1616.5. The leasing is Third Coast Midstream.
No. That Third Coast Midstream is the gas pipeline. I think that was put on there to notify you that they're either close to or right behind on their lease payment. So I'm sure, Ms. Wansley, you probably have notified them that they need to pay up soon, right?
Yes.
This is, I don't have the section number in front of me, but it's hopefully, you have that, you know where it is, Tiffintown and Brabston Road.
Exactly where the property is. Just don't have the document.
That's it. AT&T has requested that.
And there's no minimum, there's no less.
No, this is not a bid, That's only hunting and fishing and ag leases that we do bids on.
I'll make a motion that we accept the lease to AT&T for property in, sorry, I should look this early, in northwest quarter of section 16, township 16, range 5, Warren County.
Sir,
It's been moved and properly second, and the amount was $1,000?
$100
$100
per year.
All right, my addition is pretty stringent here. Okay, $100 for 25 years.
Per year,
Is that correct, sir?
per year, right?
Okay.
That's correct.
Are there any other questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. Do we have any other on the 16th section?
That's it for me.
No other?
That's it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Anything? Okay. Is there a motion to go in
I'd like to make a motion to go
to a closed session and go into executive session? Is there a motion? We're moving, just moving the proper second that we go into closed session, to go into executive session. All in favor say aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. Thank you.
Pardon, Pat.